Hello, my name is Nancy Young, and welcome to another episode of Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young, a program highlighting the positive voices within our local communities and how they're impacting and uplifting our world one person at a time. Now, before we get started, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Today, we'll be talking about highlighting your voice through that of navigating the world of business startups. My guest today is from Northridge, California. Her name is Angele Cade. Angele Cade is co-founder and chairman of the board of Cali Now, a nonprofit in Southern California. She's also the mother of a 10-year-old son. She is also a motivational speaker, and she is the founder and CEO of Executives on the Go. At this time, help me welcome my guest, Angele Cade. Thank you for joining us today, Ms. Angele Cade, the CEO and co-founder of Executives on the Go. So in this COVID climate, there is so much going on with businesses and people working from home. And so right now, we just want to talk about a topic that's going to help encourage those who are interested in starting their own business with Executives on the Go. So tell me a little bit about Executives on the Go.
So basically, over 18 years ago, me and my husband, Brandon, we started Executive on the Go, and it really came out of a place of need. You know, as you're navigating through life and things happen to you, you have experience, you have elements in your workforce where you have this skill sets that over the years begin to culminate and bring light to your purpose. And so for us, that's what this has been. It's been, really part of our purpose to advocate for small businesses, serve small businesses, and help educate entrepreneurs on which structure to get and hopefully help them to get into the right structure the first time. A lot of people, kind of try to figure it out themselves or do what someone else does or, say that, well, I heard I should get this, but we, really pride ourselves on dispelling the myths and making sure that people are educated and empowered to have the right structure, knowing that that could help facilitate their success. And so that's what we do, and really at the heart of why we do it, to help the small businesses.
Okay, so how do you actually go about doing that with education? Is it one-on-one? Do you have seminars?
Yeah, so we navigate the space in a few different ways. We do a lot of speaking, we do a lot of seminars and workshops, but the main thing is we do service clients, one-on-one, where we offer consulting. We have initial consultations. We have times where we're able to sit and just really kind of unpack for them based on their individual situation what their options are. And so just looking at all of those things for our clients. And so we do offer consulting packages, and a lot of our clients just want to be in the conversation of understanding what they have, understanding how to use it, and making sure that it is the best for them. And so we tend to be really a go-between our individual client and their attorney, our individual client and their accountant, as they build the team of professionals around them to help them succeed in their business.
Okay, so do people come to you with an idea?
It varies. Everybody's at different stages. Some people come and they're truly entrepreneurs. Some people come and they're parallelpreneurs. Some people come and they're solopreneurs doing it from home. I mean, it varies where they are in their life, and we're able to meet them where they are, because all we do is structure businesses. So we're not a one-stop shop. We don't do websites. We don't do marketing. We don't do a lot of things that navigate, the business realm. But what we do, we focus on and we do well, and that's structure. So what that looks like is somebody telling us their vision, their passion. They talk to us about the owners, how many owners, if it's just them, if there's a husband and wife team, is there a partner? They talk to us about their exit strategy. Where do they want this business to go? Is it for succession? Do they have children? Is it franchisable? Is it something that's going to be licensed? Do they plan to retire with this business? Do they want it to be acquired? Just so many things that maybe they're not open to that language or conversation, that we expose them to so they can consider it when making the decision for the right structure for them.
Right. So now, as I think about it, considering the structure is really like the house, the
Yes.
whole theme of it, of what you want to build and where you're going with this. You don't just come out there just with a, bag of bricks. Okay, we're going to start building this, but you don't have no blueprint or anything to try to help to get to what that finish line is. So you named a couple of things that I'm not familiar with, and that's like parallel preneurs and solopreneurs.
Yes. So basically, a lot of us are familiar with entrepreneurs, somebody having that entrepreneurial, spirit, and they are just, innovative, and they are, forward thinking, and they're, they navigate risk, right? And then there's, in our environment now, we're recognizing that there are a lot of solopreneurs, people that do things by themselves, but they are still a business. So they do it from their laptop, they do it from Starbucks, they do it from, their home, but they're able to set up their studio, they're able to navigate their, social media, and it's really at the core, it's them, so they're solopreneurs, they're by themselves. And then parallelpreneurs would be someone who is still working a job, and while they are working their job, they are building their business, they're investing in their business, they are, looking at the hours that they're not spending at work, and they're making sure that they're allocating time to build a legacy and a successful business. So at that time, they're functioning as parallelpreneurs, doing those two things at the same time.
Okay, parallel their own business and working to make sure they get money coming in.
Exactly. Make sure you keep the investor happy, right?
Right. That's important. So do you have like offshoot services that you actually can direct people to for the whole package? I know you do the structure of it, but for those who need the marketing, who need the website as they're setting up, do you at least offer those kind of referrals?
So we do have strategic, partners and alliances and a referral base. A lot of times things that come up is like being able to have, a trademark, or having a having their intellectual property really set. We don't do that work. We refer it out to an attorney. So we have relationships that we trust, that we've entrusted over the years, that we, refer clients to people that specialize in those areas.
So now they have at least an avenue to go to help them build it, to fill in the rooms, to put the couch here and,
Yeah.
So as this climate that we're in now, COVID-19, it's been a lot of uncertainty for businesses. I've seen in my capacity in my city, I've seen a lot of big businesses close as well as small businesses close because they just can't continue. And so that's left a lot of people in the system on unemployment, and others are really looking to do something, something different now, because it's kind of forced a lot of people to look at life a little differently now. So how can executives on the go help with that in this climate?
We've had a lot of we've done a lot of like virtual summits and virtual conferences, and we've been in network forums and breakout sessions, and been at the forefront of the conversation for small businesses for what it means to kind of honor what's coming up during this period of time. For a lot of people, a lot of things are coming up, passions, purpose, innovation, being inspired around ideas, even philanthropy. A lot of kind of work that there is to do in the community becomes a lot clearer during times like this. And so just making sure that the person has the tools and the things necessary to do that work. And so those are things that we're able to support someone through as they realize, oh my gosh, you know what, I'm really passionate about this. Or, you know, my mind is going about this thing that I've wanted to invest in or I've wanted to do. Or it might be the book, it might be finishing the book, it might be you know, being a consultant or doing services, it might be starting a work in the community, it might be beginning a forum or a blog or the beginnings of a work that you can really, you know, kind of sink your teeth into and be able to navigate and call your own. And we are, you know, we're able to have those conversations, you know, with our clients and with prospects along the way. People just want a safe space to be able to share what they're feeling, what they want to do, what their purpose is, and know that it's possible. And that's what we're able to give them, the possibility of that framework to house their ideas and their business.
So that's important to know. As I was thinking about that when you were talking about philanthropy, for some, they want, you know, they want to invest in things that people are doing out there. And then at the same time, people may be wanting to open up, you know, do something not in a nonprofit, because nonprofit is a business.
Absolutely.
It's a different structure so that people can go out there. They're not in it to make a lot of money, but they're
Mhm.
in it to provide services to others. So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you know, nonprofits are they're a different, you know, it's a different playing field, and you know, it definitely doesn't mean no money. It just means that the money is generated to reinvest in the mission. And you know, for a lot of our clients, we have to kind of bring them to a place where they're clear, like, hey, you established the board. Hey, nobody owns the nonprofit. Hey, the nonprofit is governed. You know, do you have the people in place? Do you have the commitment in place? Do you have the things that you need so that it can, you know, survive in times like this, so that it can scale, so that it can be prepared for grants, so that it can be prepared to apply for grants. You just want to be able to do that work. And then with what's going on right now with agencies being closed down, departments, you know, not being at full strength or being able to be at full hours, all these things are variables that impact you know, the business. And so whether nonprofit or for-profit, so being able to navigate that as well.
That that is something important to consider, to think about, because I think some people think that it's just go for broke. Then, you know, if you gonna do something out there, then it's always just everything out of your own pocket. So,
Hmm.
but right now, for people to think about what their passion is, what they can do, I think that that's very important for people to take inventory. What about other businesses? How do you see that that is affecting people who actually um, are maybe working from home or
Hmm. I mean, a lot of, you know, when you look at the climate, you know, a lot of innovation, you know, comes out of being forced to kind of do things a certain way. Then you start to realize what works, what doesn't work. We've seen it across industries where people have been very quick or very slow to make the adjustment, and that really, you know, warrants either their, you know, survival or bridging, you know, their own, you know, sustaining their business model, you know, in the field. And so just kind of considering, like, hey, you know what, you know, all my meetings have gone to Zoom, and I've had this huge learning curve on what it means to navigate, or I'm doing, you know, technologies for broadcasting on social media, or I've increased my writing on my blogs and my SEO. I'm doing more, you know, I mean, just kind of figuring out, like, what is this rhythm? Where do I fit? And then considering that it's not something that you do while you're here, but it becomes a new way to do what you do. And just what does that mean? And so a lot of people are having to ask themselves the questions, you know, do I really need to go into the office? Do I really need to be at the desk? You know, what are the pros and cons? Where does the you know, where does my productivity lie? You know, what are we measuring as being, you know, success or failure in this space? Am I still scalable? Am I still valuable? And just looking at, you know, all of those options. So those are things that I feel like in the space we've been dealing with our clients on.
Okay. Have you dealt at the other end of those who actually have businesses and then they have a lot of people that work for them that they've had to consider not actually going in a physical office, but virtual as people had to have adjust now?
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and it's really it's given people the feedback that maybe they didn't need such a big office space, or maybe they didn't need to navigate, one way versus another. Just really kind of being clear on what their viable, options are, and really the bottom line. Everybody's been looking for ways on how to save money, bridge the gap. There was a lot of products that came out of the CARES Act, that people had to contend with. Do I take this loan? Is this beneficial for me? Is the PPP enough? Do I stay with the furlough? Is it better for my employees to get unemployment instead of, me offering them what I can? Just really measuring the best for everyone involved as we're navigating these very unique waters. In California, we were getting ready to have some huge, things adjust based on, AB5 and just different laws and things that were coming down around, requirements for small businesses and benefits that are, required, and just new things that are coming. And all this that is going on, of course, has taken our attention away from these changes that are in the pike. But like you said, at the end of the day, people are looking for, government. They're looking for cities. They're looking for organizations. They're looking for those that have, the ability to, support the small businesses so that they can survive and be able to, navigate and thrive on the other side of this.
And hopefully people are really taking into account all the many things that you said, like looking at their business structure. Do you really need this big overhead? And so
Hmm.
that was a decision I remember years ago my husband and I had to make. Do we really need this big office when most of our clients don't even come here? They're out of
Hmm.
state. And so, we could be doing something different.
Yes.
So this is giving people that opportunity to reevaluate.
Yeah, yeah, to look at the fine line, look at the fine lines, look at the bottom line, look at the detail of how your business works, what you really need, and how you're going to take that information as feedback to move forward.
So lastly, I just want to go over just to revisit the name of Executives on the Go. So what inspired you to come up with that name, Executives on the Go?
Okay, so Executive on the Go, it was birthed out of gosh, I have to go back to the beginning. I promise. I feel like there's everyone has their origin story, and so this is ours. When I was in college, I was a counselor of a program called the Academic Supports Program, and our counseling model was a holistic counseling model, and so we dealt with the attrition rate of the African American population on campus, and our counseling style was based on this holistic model. So that really has mirrored our consulting style to this date, that when we look at a person, we look at the whole person. After that, I worked for an attorney who specialized in collections. And so a lot of the asset protection, liability separation, that portion really comes from the space with the attorney. And after that, I worked for a CPA in Encino, where I was a controller. And so my degree is in business econ, but my acumen with numbers and my ability to navigate and work with CPAs really comes from that experience. Well, while I was there, that was my last job, and my boss at the time was the CFO on a company that was doing an IPO, which is an initial public offering, and everything about it was wrong. I mean, it was a horrible, horrible thing. SEC got involved. I ended up having a lawsuit against the company for, I ended up winning a judgment for my last two payroll checks, and it was absolutely devastating. Myself and my husband, we had lost, everything. We, our apartment, just everything had shifted in my life. And so what happened was, when I left there, a number of the clients contacted me because they realized I was the one doing the work. I was the controller in the office. I managed the staff of accountants and bookkeepers, and I, did a lot of the work. And so initially, I was the executive on the go, and I would go to the clients and continue to service them in the field and helping them navigate with the agencies, support their administration, really fill in the gaps for the work that was the management of their business that the firm had did that was no longer there because the CPA was no longer practicing, but they just really liked my service and my work. And so that is how it started. So because they asked for me, because they called me, because they wanted to continue to experience the service, I started executive on the go. And what happened was through the years, I realized that the knowledge that I had accumulated to that point was something that more clients needed, and I was able to better serve them by, having my office, and people would come to me to structure their business. And I just realized that kind of niche of what it meant to structure their business, do that framework, make sure that it made sense for who they were, where they wanted to go, and really the rest is history. My husband joined me, and we've been on this journey for 18 years. Last year, we celebrated serving over 15,000 clients, and we're excited about the next chapter, of our business. So
That's actually inspiring. And so, of course, I've known you all these years, but I didn't know all those things that's gone that you've gone through to get to here.
yeah,
And so it's just the way that you handle everything holistically. And
yeah,
so it's amazing how a lot of things are birthed in us from our youth. And then that's how we just kind of like that fans out into everything that we do. Like for me,
absolutely.
everything is about ministry and
Yeah.
giving to other people. But yeah, that just kind of like defines the structure of Angele.
Yes, yes,
Holistically looking at people and their passion. So I think that actually speaks to a lot of people to give them hope that, you can go through some things that's devastating. You can
yeah,
go through some losing some things, but sometimes it forces you to take inventory and take stock and see, now what can I do with
yeah,
to build my
absolutely.
life going forward?
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe that wholeheartedly. The day that I got that judgment and I took it to an attorney and I thought I was going to, get what was owed to me. And when he told me he couldn't help me and that the way that it was structured didn't allow for me to, recoup any of those monies. And I said to him, I said, well, I structured the business. And he looked at me that day and he said, well, you did a great job because I can't help you. And I said to myself, it was like a light going off that over the years, that all of the information had culminated to that moment where I could take what I had learned and it could have value in the marketplace. And I think that that really is a part of everyone's journey. They just kind of realize one day that I have value in the marketplace in exchange for compensation, and it's up to me to demand it and stand in it and be able to be willing to go out and get it. So,
Well, thank you. So on that note, we're going to end today, but thank you so much for joining me. I know you have a very busy schedule, motivational. You got some seminars coming up. You're helping inspire others. But thank you so much for joining me.
oh,
And
thank you so much for having me. You're absolutely amazing. I love the work that you're doing in the community and abroad. You've always stood for, integrity and just great things in the world. I love to see your work and how you connect to people and how you stand for what's right. And I appreciate who you are.
thank you so much. So we will put the information on the screen of how to contact executives on the go, so they can have their own executives on the go helping them. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Again, thank you to our guest today, Angele Cade, for joining us and sharing how your voice matters. For truly, you're making an impact not only personally, but in the business world. Now, if you'd like more information about how to get in touch with executives on the go, please see the information on the screen below. Now, if you've enjoyed this programming, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young. And until next time, remember, your voice matters. If you have something positive to share and you would like your voice to be highlighted on Your Voice Matters with Nancy Young, please contact me at YVMwithNancy@gmail.com. And if you've enjoyed this programming, please hit the subscribe button right now. Thank you.